economy, news, politics, entertainment, crime report, etc. Moms TV, celebrating you.
Prophet Israel Oladele Genesis floated a unique brand Celestial Church, and it has now become the largest and fastest growing Celestial Church in the world. He is an author, preacher, and a philanthropist. The dark complexioned shepherd has continued ever since his emergence, breaking barriers, taking territories, and also setting pace for his generation. In his Lagos office, he hosted a media team led by Sheson Awobiye and Michael Chinedu. Momentous TV on issues of spiritual transformation, national lapses, and much more.
Is Prophet Israel Oladele Ogundipe, Shepherd in Charge Celestial Church of Christ Genesis Global. I'm married, happily married with wonderful children. I have spiritual children, I have biological children. I grew up from a Muslim family, and later my parents moved to Christ Gospel Apostolic Church. And I've been in the ministry for the past 21 years, Celestial Church of Christ Genesis Global. I've written some books. I've written about 7 books, and my latest book is coming out. That the title is "Don't Be a Fool." And to the glory of God, God has been faithful. To me, God captured me. God captured me because it wasn't what I was planning. I was thinking of going back to school one day and go study law or go into banking and finance, but my parents didn't really have money to send me to school. I wrote my WAEC exam, I didn't make it, so I needed to rewrite again, so I got my hand broken and there was no money. Then my parents will have to go beg for money in the vehicle before they have money to take me to Ibobi. And there was no money. When I saw the way they were being mocked all the time, people, Nigeria and Lagos, when you see people begging, they believe everybody are pretenders. So I told my mom not to go again, not to take me there again, because we're actually looking for 150 naira, and we've been on that for over months. Nobody was ready to help us, and the hand was just growing bigger and bigger every day. So the little we had, we went to Bobby, and they treated it, but there was no money to correct it when they removed. We actually removed the POP at home by my father because there was no money to go back to treat it again. So since that time, this one cannot touch here, but this one can touch here. So, but my going to Celestial Church of Christ was never what I planned because I never planned for it. I never prayed for it. Celestial people in our family, Christ Gospel Apostolic Church, they believe Celestial people are traditional people, they are occultic people, they are fetish people. Not until I got in there through the parish and started from, I realized that the people are just lying against the church and they are saying about it. If people are saying bad, that Celestial is bad, let the person check him herself. Maybe the person is bad. Because you cannot tell me you went to a church and a pastor slept with you. Definitely, it wouldn't be charm. It would have been a kind of agreement between you guys because I don't know. I don't really want to go there. But I moved to Celestia because the former church we were attending, there was a CSC in front of my father's house where they taught us Bible. They preaching to us. But there was a day my mother was molested, was disgraced, and I went to one cell. I was just passing by. I saw the young man, the young shepherd. I started playing with him, and I started playing drums for them, and they showed me love. So, and I left where they showed me Bible to where they showed me love, and I decided to start wearing white because normally there was no clothes for us to wear to church. Because I remember the disgrace that happened to my mom was when someone tore her clothes. She was owing maybe 200 naira, I think, that time. And she actually used the money for church thing because my mother is a very strong believer. She's a deaconess in Christ Gospel Apostolic Church. And my father was a deacon in Christ Gospel Apostolic Church. I lost him 3 years ago. I went to be with the Lord 3 years ago. So when I saw the level of love shown to me when I went to Celestial Church of Christ, Paradise Parish, and the name of my shepherd happens to be Prophet Femi Shoyoyi, he was able to bring all you together, eat together, play together. But I was just thinking that let me just be with these people for the meantime till I will go back to school. or go back to another better church. But trust me, I was expecting when I got there, maybe they will be killing fowl, killing charm, doing that, doing charms, but there was nothing like that in that church. I wouldn't know about any other church. But sometimes where you started from matters. So the church has started from only fasting and prayers and all that. And that was how. So the gift of God, I normally fast even before then when we were very young. No food. So we almost fast all the time. Always fast all the time that if we eat rice in our family, it's going to be next Christmas that we eat rice again. So I started growing in the word, pray all the time. And the gifts started growing and people started seeing the hand of God in my life. So I didn't make up myself. I didn't make up my mind. Because the Bible says, my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts. As the heaven is far from the earth, so my thoughts are far from you. I was actually thinking of one day there will be money for me to go back to school to study law. And there was no money to go back. So that was even the time I went to a school called Universal College of Technology in Ilefe, where I partially studied banking and finance because there was no money for me to retake my exams. I did menial jobs, laborer and all that. I couldn't make it. So I was just going to classes, to Ife, OAU to sit down, take lectures, but I wasn't registered. So from there, I decided to come back home. I'm not aware because I've not started. People are saying it. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you have done this, I've done that." I say, I'm not seeing what I'm doing. I've not been seeing it because some of the videos that are even going around I'm not the one cutting the video, shooting the video. Sometimes I'm just going to see it somewhere. Some people will just send it to me and it's going to be funny to me. But to me, I believe I've not started at all. I'm just warming up. I just have this perception about this that I'm going to be a transitional leader. I'm going to be a transitional spiritualist. I'm going to be a transitional shepherd that would not embrace tradition, that will think outside the box and move my generation to the next level. What I do is I just want to pray that God should take over the country. Because this is a country where you are always you need to be very careful saying the truth. Even when you say the truth, all what they want to do is to take your life. This is a country where we have fake journalists who will try to want to get money from you, blackmail you because they needed their papers to sell. You will say A, they put B, they put in front page, but they didn't know that it's just going to be for a while, and later the truth will come out. This is a country where people are too desperate. So I don't know if this one is say yes, I'm going to change it, I'm going to change. When they get there, they do another thing. We have so much selfish leaders, selfish people who are so concerned about themselves. So this is a new decade. I just believe it's a decade that we all need to discover ourselves. Stop trusting and stop believing Nigeria will do anything for us. Stop believing that this country will do anything for us. What can you do by yourself to get your life transformed? And your life cannot be transformed if your mind is not transformed. How can you embrace the place of peculiarity? That everything, we can see popularity in negativity, we can see popularity in negative assignments, you can see people seeing Nigeria from negative angles all the time. How can you be peculiar to see it from a different angle? It is not a problem that matters, but the approach towards the problem is what matters. So that's what brings about the transformation. So seeing what God is doing in Nigeria, I believe God is preparing us for another level. I believe really, really God is, because I'm a problem solver. And one thing I know in my life, I discover opportunities from problems. People are saying, there is no opportunity, we don't have opportunity, they don't have opportunity. Some will say, if they have opportunity to go to school, they have opportunity, if they have opportunity to start a business. No. There are opportunities everywhere, but we have refused to discover opportunities. And when you don't discover opportunity, you will not see opportunity that will build you for the next level. How can you do it? Discover the opportunity, embrace the opportunity, protect the opportunity, grow with the opportunity, and then you will be a game changer. So about Nigeria, we have a lot of people saying, I'll do this, I'll do that. They say with their mouth, but as for me and my family and everyone around me, the prayer is, even if they are saying Nigeria is worst, Nigeria is bad, for all of us, for everyone watching me, Nigeria is going to be good. Because this is my own Nigeria that I'm proud of. Enough of killings, enough of pretentious leaders, enough of religiosity, enough of people fighting for God, enough of people saying Christian is the best, Muslim is the best. No one can fight for God. If you're saying you're fighting for God, you are lying. You're just pretentious, and you are looking for a way to build your own cabal, to build your own probably satanic generation. Because if you see anyone preaching against any religion, the person is satanic. I don't really want to go further because you know Nigeria, but I'm not afraid to say the truth. I'm going to say the truth. That's the nature I have. But enough of killing, enough of bloodshed, enough of bad news every day. I'm not even happy to read news. I'm not even happy to read Nigerian papers. I'm not even happy to watch stations. I don't want to mention stations in Nigeria because the first thing you hear in the morning, they just adopted someone, they just killed someone, someone has just been slaughtered, fire something somewhere. Bad news every day, killing every day. If Nigerian army, Nigerian police, and everyone cannot handle Boko Haram, then if another country want to fight us, how are we going to overcome? There are enemies within. And it's always very easy, it's always very difficult for you to treat someone who is pretending that he is sick. When you are pretentious that you are sick and you want the doctor to administer drugs to you, you know you are not sick. If the doctor should even give him or her the whole drugs in the world and she's still saying she's sick, what would the doctor do? So Nigeria, something is wrong within. And there's no way, if we cannot start preaching love, start helping ourselves, start adding value to each other, and stop this enmity, may Nigeria not break one day. And if it's going to be that we are going to break, that will bring the solution, let it happen. I'm not a product of bad news. I'm a product of good news. But I love it when I say it realistically. People are preaching, people are talking, people are trying their best. But I think our best is yet to come. And our best is yet to be enough. What if I talk to someone and the person is not ready to listen to me? To the glory of God, I'm one dangerous person that does not worship money. I don't worship rich people. I know you are rich, fine. But I don't want to adore anyone who wants to make him or herself God in my life. You know it, you know it. We preach the little we're supposed to preach in church. But when election comes now, the so-called pastors among them, we join them in the rally. They will sing, they will share. They are the one that will bribe people as Christians. The good ones are voiceless. The bad ones are noise makers. Then how are we going to be positive news makers? As for me, I preach the little. I know how to preach on the pulpit, but my own time is yet to come. I'm not up to 50. I'm not the CAN president. I'm not anything. Imagine someone who is just CAN chairman, the way he was slaughtered. So if I'm not CAN president, I'm still just a shepherd of a church. Do you want them to lock me inside the CAN? I still have my children to be protected. I still have my wife to protect. I cannot fight for Nigeria. I can only preach. Tell me who is that person that has tried to fight for Nigeria that has prevailed. Before you know it, they kill the person. Before you know it, they slaughter the person. Before you know it. So let me just wait and manage few people God has given to me. Be a blessing to my wife. Be a blessing to my children. And keep praying. I'm not a radical preacher. I'm a practical preacher. Tell him anything. I only pray for him that God should keep leading him. God should give him wisdom and knowledge. Because those who are stronger than me, better than me, they have met with him. They have met with so many people. They all know themselves. So what is my own? The CAN president is there. I'm not limiting myself that I can't meet him, but I know I can't meet him. Even if I have opportunity to meet him, I won't meet him. Even if I have opportunity to meet him and I'm able to meet him, all I will do is to prostrate and greet him and go my own way because the journey is far. They can't say I'm the first alpha. They can't say I'm the first imam. There are stronger prophets, bigger pastors that have met with him. They've gone together. They stay together. They are always in Aso Rock together. They've gone to meeting together. His vice is a pastor. So how can I be preaching Bible to somebody who's the Bible? How can I preach for someone whose assistant is a pastor, a major voice from Redeemed Christian Church of God? I don't think they will allow me to see him. And this is the only way to reach to him and say the truth. But I know all our leaders needs God's intervention. They need wisdom. Nigeria is confused, and many leaders are confused. Both Christian leaders, Muslim leaders, and everyone. We are so confused. The way out is to work on yourself. If there are bad people everywhere, you be the first good person. We're not waiting for Nigeria. We are grading this road all the time. We paved this road by ourselves, and by the church has been able to pave the road. Here in the church, what we use church tithes for is to send people to school and help widows in the church. So instead of me waiting that Nigeria should change all that, let me see what I'm able to do in the church. We empower people. We have football club. We've been able to send them to go play football in London, and they came back. Do your own. Let this person do his or her own. From your own side, little by little, things will change. In this world starts from the theory of one. You cannot lead people if you cannot lead yourself. As a father, lead yourself first. As a leader, lead yourself first. As a family leader, lead yourself first. As a community leader, lead yourself first. Lead yourself by disciplining yourself, by having determination that this family must not crumble, Nigeria must not crumble, this community must not crumble. By dedicating yourself with, everything you have. If I leave here now, I'm going home. Saturday is to prepare for my Sunday, be with my family, pray with my children, play with me. I have a 2-year-old boy. I have a baby of not up to 1 year. My son jumps on me. We sing together. We drive cars together. Sometimes I wear my wife's gown. I catwalk for her. So she will say, when are you coming back home? I wear her gown. I wear her hair. I wear her gown. I catwalk for her because my wife is a very quiet person. But I just needed her to laugh. My son will call me, Dada, Daddy. Not 2 weeks ago, like 1 week, somebody bought me a ram for Christmas. I took my son to where the ram was, and I said, Excel, okay, look at this ram. What do you want to tell the ram? And my son was saying to the ram, Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire. My son was telling ram, oh yeah, say Holy Ghost fire, say Holy Ghost fire. Lead yourself first. I'm not a greedy father. If you want to lead the country, don't be a greedy father. Whatever I'm blessed with, I bless my wife with, I bless my children with. If you are honest to yourself, you will be honest, and your family will be honest, will be truthful. So nobody can lead anyone without leading himself. This church wouldn't have grown if I've not been leading myself truly through transparency. I am a shepherd, and the law of this church, as a shepherd, I'm not entitled to sign the check of the church. We have the church secretary, we have financial secretary, we have people that are into it. Mine is just to say, let's make it this way, let's make it this way. Is a lay down rule that it is not my duty to join them in counting church money. It is not my duty to spend church money. I'm not on salary, but people are blessing me because I'm truly called, and those God has used me for are blessing me. Before you left, not quite long, somebody bought 100 chairs for the church. I didn't beg for it. Buying 100 chairs for the church, we're growing every day because we are in need of more chairs. So lead yourself first. Lead yourself first by praying. I'm the father of the house. I'm the one that will come first. Call for morning devotion. Study, teach them. I have a son who is in higher institution studying information technology. I gave him, he was asking for iPhone, whatever. I said, no, I can't give it to you. How old are you? He said, because they said in his church, in his school, all the students there they are from children of commissioner, governor. I said, your own father is a pastor. How will you be asking me for iPhone, whatever? You better ask me for low phone, something, before you ask me for iPhone, something. And I said, I can't give you iPhone. He get admission to the university, was supposed to go to Canada. I was not having money for $25,000 to go to Canada. I said, no, study in Nigeria. So my children are here. I can't force myself, and I can't dip my hand into church money. So as a leader, lead yourself first. Pray. Your wife is watching you. Your children are watching you. The people you are leading are watching you. That's why, that's why all my ministers too are givers. And I've never been doing more than myself. You can't give me Range Rover. If you give me, I will sell it and give the money back to church. It is not about Range Rover. It's about me crossing over to take over. I'm not up to 50. Then who am I competing with? Lead yourself first. So that's why I've not been doing more than myself. The name is big to the glory of God. Everybody believes, this guy. But anytime I go out to preach outside the country, there has never been any church that that give me honorarium, if they give me, I return it back. I've never. God said, if I go to any church and they give me money and I collect it, that is the end of my glory. The first time I went to New York was when somebody gave me $10,000 and I took it to the person who gave me his shoulder to be a member of Celestial Church of Christ. And since then, there is no church I minister that I've ever collected anything from anybody. If I minister in any church, when they give me honorarium, I return it back. The church is not about charge and bill. I have done my own, I go. And the people I'm attending to, praying for, there is nobody that will come out and say, Israel Oladele charged me 10,000 naira, 20,000. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself. But as a leader, as a community leader, the governor, the president, lead yourself first. Don't be greedy. Love people. Respect people. Respect people's feelings. Respect marriages. Respect people around you. And please value on people more than money. So before you lead anything, lead anyone, lead yourself first. Advice to Nigerian youth is all about self-discovery. I said it. Stop complaining about Nigeria. Stop complaining about what Nigeria is going to do to you, about you. Start thinking of what you're going to do to add value to Nigeria. All what we have here, some people produce them. What can you produce? What can you produce? Then who are you associating with? Change your association and your revelation will be perfect. Then the manifestation will be guaranteed. Stop complaining about what Nigeria is not doing, what Nigeria is doing well. What have you achieved by complaining, fighting, killing? Add something new to it. And all our leaders should be aware that someday God himself will take over and everything in Nigeria will be transformed. But I'm particular about youth. We have seen some of them going into farming. We have seen some of them going into inverter production and some things like that. Let us produce something and stop being negative about this country. And let's come together. Let's grow together in love and not in enmity and hatred. So my own advice for us is to come together and build Nigeria together.